Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Learning Simplified. Myself Salim. Today I'm just kicking start a new series of videos, which really means what is my channel name? Yes, of course, Learning Simplified. How to. By the way, while doing my post graduation, I had so many thoughts about how to make all these subjects, so much of bundle of topics to learn, put into the brain and get through it, somehow manage to get through it. But during that course of journey, I have gone through so many personal experiences. I have tried so many experiments, and I was lucky enough to get into all this with a positive heart and thought. And at the end, I could come out as the gold medalist, first rank from the university exams. So, all my experiences which I gathered during my course of studies, how to make learning simplified, is kicking start from today's video. Do not forget to watch the coming videos also. I'm sure you will get inspired with this one, how to make whatever you study learned in a very simplified way. So let us get into today's thoughts. What is it? We all know that we have books to learn. Every book says, every syllabus says what we are supposed to learn, isn't it? The syllabus has printed various terminologies, and other related stuffs of our learning. This is what you are supposed to learn at the end of this particular academic curriculum or a particular academic period. But then, not a point. Always this thought hits me. Our syllabus, our books, nowhere saying us, how do I learn this? Isn't it? Serious question to think. Imagine, along with your physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, English, computer science, informatics, all these books, imagine you have one more book and a teacher and a subject to learn. What is it? How to learn. Just think of that. And that teacher comes to your class and explaining you what are the easy methods to learn, how to understand the steps, how to read in the right way, how to recollect the things that you read, how to put that in a note, how to remember the notes, how to absorb the complete book into your brain, and how to put all these points into your answer sheet where you never miss anything. That'll be wonderful. I'm sure if any university or anybody brings such a topic, learning goes so quick, so easy, in such a way that anything you read, anything you understand, anything you hear, anything you absorb, you learned. I still feel bad. Why we do not have a subject? How to learn. Today, the thoughts are just based on that. I'll be arranging one after the other a series of videos intended to all the people who would like to learn. These all are things which I have experienced and scientifically tested, experimentally tried, and I got, of course, beautiful results because of this. And if at all you like it, please subscribe, give your comments, and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any such video of the series hereafter. So, thought number one, what is learning? Let us cover the first heading. What is learning? Basically, in biology, learning means some sort of circuits happening in the brain. If I get into a little more depth, when we try to learn something, some chemical changes happen in your brain. To be much more precise, when you get learning something seriously in depth, they're made in our brain some sort of irreversible chemical changes. I mean it, irreversible. When these changes are irreversible, you are getting into the topic which you learn, and that remains in your brain forever. Most of the things that we learn stays in the brain just for some seconds or some days or some weeks, and we forget it. Most of you have this complaint, right? I learned so much, but I forget. Most of us learn so many things in our post graduations and graduations and everywhere. And once we start our life doing our job and just we don't use all these things what we learned in our day-to-day work jobs, we tend to forget what we learn. And when a very particular situation comes where we have to use what we learn, we are unable to do it, and learning becomes vain. So these chemical changes which is happening in the brain, if they are irreversible, we can call it as learn forever. If these changes are reversible, it's just called short-term memory. So we can classify our memorization into two. Very simple. Let's classify the memorization into two. That is short-term memory and long-term memory. All right. So what is STM and LTM? Let's take an example for short-term memory. You went for a movie. You sat on a chair on a particular row on a particular seat number, and while the interval you just got up, went out to catch grab some stuff for you, some food item, something like that. So when you left out, maybe if you don't have the ticket printed with the seat number, then you might just remember which row, which seat you were sitting. Am I right? And then you come back after collecting, grabbing your materials, you came back, you sat there, and yes, you sat in the same seat where you were. Let's think after 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, or after just even 24 hours, somebody asked you, what was your seat number for that movie? I don't remember. But you learned it for some reason, isn't it? That particular moment when you went out, you tried to learn it, but then when you came back, you forgot it. Maybe after some time. So we are learning some things, we are memorizing some stuffs, not learning basically, we are just memorizing some stuffs just for the time being, and it stays in our brain for a little time, and such things we could call or put under the category short-term memory. All right, imagine you learn something or you memorize something and you can recollect it and memorize it and repeat it and reproduce it at any time with no mistake. That's something which is called long-term memory. Then you're like, how is it possible? It's possible, guys. Look, even if you don't know what did you read, or even if you don't know what is the meaning of what you read, people tend to memorize, right? Memorizing our national anthem of the country, isn't it? In our school, during our school days, we all sing our national anthem from the childhood to adolescence till finishing school, and it's a practice of singing. Even for playing cricket, any ground we go, we play. And today also we sing national anthem. But how many of you know exactly what is the meaning conveyed through that? That means even if you have no idea what are you uttering, still you can remember it. So that is long-term memory. That will be so good if you remember things always in long-term memory. Another thing that's at the same point I want to just bring to your notice, you must have found out how fast I recollect the new released songs and their lyrics. What is the reason behind it? If I could recollect my subject, my topics, my study materials like this, it could have been it will be very nice. You must have noticed in my logo, I'm just putting a music symbol there. There is a reason behind it. What is it? I have so many research done behind this, how to connect music, how to make music and connect it with your study materials and make your learning simplified. It's on my work. I have a special keyboard with me, and that is Korg Chronos 2. I play music and I love making music, so I'll be creating music, and all these musics I'll be connecting to your learning, and in this channel you'll be getting so many such updates on the go, and I'm sure you will be able to recollect whatever you learn. Like, next thought, the learning process starts with getting senses. All these senses, our body perceives it and the brain gets an idea what are you getting through the senses. So once these senses we receive, the brain try to collect it at the sensory area over here, and then the sensory area brings that methods, all things that you collected to the associative area, which is the seat of human intelligence, which is found in cerebrum. And then the associative area collects all the things which you have done based on this particular sense in the past, and then collect all the data related to thing. The CPU works very fast and gets it to a conclusion. The conclusion is given to the motor area, which triggers some nerves to give actions to either our muscles or our glands. So this way, anything you perceive as a stimulus, we give a response. If we don't want to give any response, we'll just leave it like that. So let us take an example for what I told. While walking on the pavement, you are seeing a snake. A very small baby snake just crawling there. It's finding so difficult to crawl and just cross. Even if it is baby, first you're like, oh my god, it's a snake. But then you understood it's a very small baby snake. It's not going to do anything harm. Okay, so, but if I allow him to grow like this, he's going to make change to a huge snake another day and going to trouble me. Okay, so I should not leave him. Let me kill him. So you took a stone, threw, killed him. All right, let's get into next day. You kill the snake and happily you're satisfied. You're going home. Yes, I have broken the chain of thousands of snakes, but this baby could grow and reproduce and trouble mankind. Okay, please do not misunderstand that I'm a person who's advocating to kill snakes. That's not the matter of this video, but just it's an example. The next day, while you were just walking through that same street, same place, the mother snake is waiting there. Mother snake knew that somebody has killed my baby yesterday. That idiot will come this way and I'm going to catch him. The mother snake you saw there in front of you, and your steps, you stopped your steps, you couldn't walk further. You just thought of keeping a step behind, and you get a series of actions on your body. Your body is perceiving that stimulus. The stimulus has reached through your eyes, through your through your sense organ. It has reached into your brain. You are seeing a mother snake. The stimulus is passed to where our associative area. Remember, a lot is there to discuss about associative area, which really make us learn like a pro, and that later on will come in other series. By the way, this particular part, associative area, has all the knowledge you gain throughout your years about snake and snake bite and people, death, poison, boom, bam, everything just rushes into your brain. And brain says, don't play with this. This is not baby snake. It's going to trouble you. Be careful. Try to escape. You are unable to handle the situation. You cannot attack it. Rather, he will attack you and you're gone. This much of CPU work is done here, and the message is sent to the motor part. The motor part is kicking the messages to whom? To the muscles, and your muscles are pumped with blood, your hormones are active, your nervous system is active, and you are going to take a run and escape from this dash. You escape. So this is how we see, perceive the senses and apply it in our daily life. So what can we understand from this? Learning occurs through all the senses. The first ever sense a child used to learn is the taste. I repeat, it is a taste. You must have seen small babies. You give whatever in their hand, they will put first in the mouth and taste it. Isn't it? Because the first ever learning comes through taste. That's what scientifically proved. And thereafter, it's a process of learning. Now, how learning happens? We have understood about the circuits. I'm not going into the biological phenomena happening exactly there. But remember, there are such circuits for everyone. Such millions and trillions, more than the total number of stars on this universe. That many number of nerve networks are there in our brain. And we are not using them for the right purpose. It's a time to think. Number one method used by everybody is reading. And today I would like to focus only about that method of reading. It's been said that the one who reads the most fastest is the most intelligent, provided by understanding what he read. So if you read the fastest by understanding exactly what you read, you are really intelligent. Some people can read so fast. You must have seen your teacher just preparing for the classes by reading all the topics in a tuck, 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 very fast, one after the other line, finished. Just by turning the pages, they get it. So, what is the real method of reading? Focus on to the core part of the video. Now comes the real method of reading. And I'm sure if you focus on this, you can save lots of times of your reading practice, which is simply wasted throughout your life. Let us check into what are they. So guys, you opened a book. You open a topic or a paragraph or a chapter or something to read. Let me tell you a new strategy of reading. I don't know how many of you try like this. Maybe some of you, but I'm sure it will work. Number one, never read from the introduction. Never start reading just when you get a book. First, flip through the pages of the book. Imagine it's a chapter. Flip through the chapters from the first page of the chapter. Keep flipping the pages. See 1, 2, 3, 4. Just while flipping, just look what the diagrams, all the things, all the headings. Just run. And then you will reach at the end of the book, isn't it? I mean, end of the chapter. After reaching there, it takes only 1 minute for doing this, flipping through the pages. It's not time consuming. I'm not going to waste your time at all. Number two, once you reach the end, most of the books, especially if it is books related to studies in school, college, whatever it is, will have a certain number of quizzes, questions, exercise, problems, numericals, etc. What you have to do? First, the first thing you have to do after flipping is seeing this questions asked at the exercise. You're like, what? I didn't read the chapter. Why should I see the questions first of all? No. First, see the questions. Once you read some questions, thoroughly, carefully understand and read the question. You will not be able to answer the questions, but you will come to know what you are supposed to get imbibed from this chapter. Means you will set your goalpost ready so that you can start playing your football and dribbling your ball. The learning is like a football game. You are dribbling. At the end, you have a goalpost. Imagine you don't set a goalpost. You dribble all the way left and right. You're not seeing any goalpost. You'll just kick this and it's a waste of learning. So, set your goal. What is it? What am I going to learn from this chapter? Hope you understood that step. Step 2, looking at the back of the book and seeing all the exercise questions. Step 3, once you got, this is what I'm going to get from this chapter, from this particular question answers, you got that, this is what I'm going to read from this chapter. Open the starting part of the page of the chapter. This time, you are just reading only the headings. Headings, subheadings. Headings, subheadings. You don't have to exactly memorize what you read. You don't have to understand exactly what you read. But keep an eye on the headings, subheadings, and just flip all the pages. Tuck, tuck, finish. This gives you an overall idea. What is the content of this chapter? Previously you understood why am I studying this chapter. Now you understood what is inside this chapter. Am I right? What is next? You go through all bold printed material in the book. When you go through that, you see in most of the books there will be bold printed materials. Just keep an eye and just read. This time try to recollect if at all you know any of these printed things. After completely going through all bold printed things in that particular chapter, I'm sure you got an idea. How much of this chapter I already know, isn't it? You clearly got an idea. This much, about 20% or 10%, I know. Remaining 90, I have to catch. I have to understand, I have to get it. Or some people like 30% I know, remaining 70 I'll catch. Some will be like 50 I know, remaining 50 I can catch. It varies according to a person's previous knowledge. Yes. After doing this studies and scanning of the bold letters, what is next? One more tip is there. So what is the next tip? Every paragraph's first and last line you simply read. Read the first and last line of every paragraph. Every paragraph's first line has to say something about what that paragraph contains, and that last line might be saying what that paragraph was containing before. So in order to get almost a clear idea, if you read the upper and lower lines of a paragraph, you can guess what is the content inside. So once you have done this much, maybe it took only maximum 5 minutes for you. Or if it is a long chapter with so many bold things, maybe a maximum of 10 minutes. But you have made a very clear blueprint of your learning method. You have made a clear, wide picture of what are you going to read, what are you going to take, what are you going to understand, and what are you going to answer at the end after finishing reading this complete pages. How to read like a pro. How to read so that whatever you read stays in your brain. How to read will be the next video, which will be followed by many other, in which I will be adding so many methods of learning, methodologies, styles, memorization techniques. Everything will be there, and I'm sure at least you will find it to solve your exams which are just in front of you. And if at all you could do that, kindly subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will get the remaining series. Thank you and take care.